My loves, happy Sunday. I hope you all are doing fabulous. This is the last Sunday of the year. I cannot believe that this time next week we will be in a whole new month, in a whole new year. I feel like 2024 went by so fast and there was just so much that happened in this year. This year was definitely a year of transformation, living in your truth, speaking your truth, being authentic to yourself, being authentic to who you are. 2024 was definitely a unforgettable year, and Cat Williams does not need to be on anybody's couch in January at all, because I feel like he low-key kicked off everything this year. 2024 definitely had some great moments. I will say overall I had a wonderful, very eventful, very blessed, very prosperous 2024. I was in good health. I took on opportunities I never thought I would take on. I met so many new people. I experienced so many new things. I truly owe a lot of the things that I experienced in 2024 to you guys. You all are such a pivotal part of my life. You all are the reason I'm able to do this job. I'm forever grateful to have had this platform and just built the community I have. So in today's video, I just wanted to kind of I just wanted to kind of do my makeup, give my final thoughts on the year. I wanted to talk about things that piqued my interest, state of the world, and also talk about like beauty products as well. So that is what today's video will be about. Before we get into the video, if you guys are new to my channel, hi, hello, my name is Brittany and I love to talk about beauty and fashion and style and all of that fun stuff. If you guys aren't already following me, make sure that you guys follow me over on my other social media platforms as well. Like I always say, I am most active over on Instagram, so definitely make sure you guys follow me over there. Everything that I'll be talking about, I'll make sure to link down in the bottom bar below. And then if for some reason any of like the beauty products that I'm using is sold out, I will certainly try and link similar items down below. And then as always, if you guys have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave those down below. I already know this is going to be a lengthy video, so grab your glass of wine, grab a snack, set me up on your vanity if you're also somebody who's in the middle of like getting ready and doing your makeup and stuff. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video, my loves. So I'm really excited to like sit down and play in makeup with you guys. I haven't done one of these videos in so long, and so it's so nice to like sit here, turn the camera on, do my makeup. I feel like I don't know, I'm going back to my roots and I am here for it. It is so ugly outside. It's rainy, it's gloomy, it's cold, so it's kind of nice to like sit here and chit chat and put on some makeup and get cute with you guys. So I've gone ahead and already kind of like started on my brows. I feel like brows are just one of those things, it's like such a boring step, you know, especially because I don't do anything special with my brows. I went ahead and filled them in with one of my favorite products, which is this one right here. It's the Wet n Wild brow pencil, and I really love this brow pencil. I always get this from like Amazon, and I want to say it's like $2 or $3. And then just to make them a little bit more defined, I also go in with the NYX brow pencil. I also get this from Amazon, but you can get this at like any drugstore, either one of these. And then towards the end, I'll actually end up going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade. I am going to definitely clean up my brows and like outline them, but this is what I am working with so far. And so in today's look, I think I want to do something that's like very browny, coppery with like a little hint of blue, kind of like a look that I've done before. I am so into the color brown this season. The Pantone color of the year for 2025 is actually Mocha Mousse, and I am so excited about that color. I just think that color is so rich and so beautiful, and it just pairs well with so many other things, and brown has definitely been a color that I have been loving this season. But first, I need to moisturize these dry ass lips that I have. I got this in from Ulta not too long ago and I really like it. It's by the brand Sol de Janeiro. It's called the Brazilian Kiss Palco Lip Butter. This is what it looks like. It's just like a lip balm, but I've been really liking it, and it's nice and like thick, and it's just really moisturizing on the lips. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to outline my brows using the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer, and this is going to be in the color Cookie. I've talked about this concealer before. This is hands down one of my favorite concealers to use. I love the formula of this. I love how it sits on the skin, and I also really like the shade range of this concealer. So I just take a little bit on this little brush right here. I should have, you know what, this is so embarrassing. I should have washed my brushes before I came on. Anyways, Lord, you know what, I need to make that my New Year's resolution, is to wash my brushes. I'm just going in and kind of like outlining my brows. I never outline the top part of my brows just because I feel like it looks a little bit too harsh. Like I only ever do the bottom part, and I will bring it kind of like down towards my eyelids just a little bit. And then to clean it up a little bit more, I like to go back in with that Wet n Wild brow pencil. And if there's one thing to note about me, like I will always be a brows first person. I just feel like my brows are like the starting point, and they help to create the dimension on my face so that I can go in and like outline everything else, and I can't do it if my brows aren't done. But kudos to those of you who can do your brows last. I will always be a brows first girl. So next I'm going back in with that same concealer, and I'm gonna plop it onto my eye. I think I will die being a brows and eyes first person, especially when I'm doing like glitter eyeshadow or sparkle eyeshadow. I cannot imagine doing my full face of makeup, putting on glitter eyeshadow, and then it just like coming down and like messing up my makeup. I can't do it. You know what it is? I am not delicate when I'm doing my makeup at all. In fact, I feel like sometimes I'm a little bit rough. Okay, so you know what? Honestly, I think I'm gonna just go in with my Better Than Chocolate palette. This is hands down one of my favorite palettes. Like, I use the hell out of this palette. Like, look at this palette. I love this palette so much. It is just such a good palette to use. It just has so many different shades of browns and orangey browns and coppers and golds, and I love those colors. My other favorite palette is the Born This Way palette, which is also from Too Faced. This little palette is hands down one of my favorite palettes to use. It's so freaking good, and it's so simple, and I don't know, I just love that little palette. So I'm just gonna go in with those two. I don't know if I'm gonna really keep stopping and talking about the shades, but those are the two palettes that I'm using. With that being said, how are you guys doing? How has your 2024 been? I feel like 2024 has been such a crazy year for me personally, but in such a good way. Like, 2023 was such a interesting year for me. I won't say it was necessarily bad, but it wasn't the greatest year. Last year really tested my tenacity, and it tested my strength, and it also tested my faith. 2023 started off being a great year, and then once the summertime hit last year, it just became like a shitty year, to be honest. I made a promise to myself this year that I would just take the lessons from 2023 and apply them to 2024, because I'm somebody that views everything as being a lesson. So whether it's good or bad, it is definitely a lesson to learn. And 2023 was definitely the year of lessons. It taught me strength, it taught me tenacity, it taught me to, like, you know, not give up. It taught me to just keep going. July of last year was my first full year of being a content creator, because I quit my job back in July of 2022. So when July rolled around of 2023, that was like my first full year being a content creator, and I was so ready to throw in the towel. But then, you know, December came along last year and we moved. Like, we went straight into this year, and here we are. And honestly, this year has been such a better year than last year. By the way, I'm spraying my brush with some MAC Fix Plus because I'm getting ready to go in with like this brownie shimmer shade from that chocolate palette. I went into this year and I was like, you know what? We're just gonna keep moving. We're not gonna stop. We're just gonna keep moving. We're just gonna keep thriving. We're just gonna keep pushing forward. That's exactly what I did. This year was my first full year being out on my own, and I also didn't have a management team. And if I'm being honest, I ended up making more money this year on my own without my management team than I did last year with my management team. I will also say that I feel like last year the creator industry was just so all over the place. There were so many people who were big name people who just didn't do that well, just because all sectors of business was struggling, and so I don't fault my management team. I think that me going into this year not having a management team actually lit a fire under my ass. It brought me back to my roots, if you know what I mean. I could no longer rely on someone else to get my sponsorships, get my campaigns, to pretty much do the work for me. It brought me back down to a place where I had to realize that I am in control of my time. I'm in control of what I do with my time. I'm in control of my life. I'm in control, basically. And that was definitely one of the biggest lessons that I learned this year, was just that I am the person that is in control. I'm gonna take on every opportunity I can, and I'm gonna put myself out there. And this year, honestly, has been such a great year in terms of networking, in terms of opportunities. I have been able to be part of opportunities this year that I just never thought that I would have. If somebody would have told me back in January that I would have been one of the creators who was chosen to be part of like a presidential election campaign, I wouldn't have believed you. There's just so many opportunities that I got to be a part of that I never would have saw it for myself at the beginning of the year. I don't know, I say all that to say, as we go into the next year, you never know the steps that God, the universe, whoever you believe in, has already laid out for you. Most of the time when we are experiencing hard times, when we are experiencing difficult times, we don't know what's going on. We can't see the forest through the trees, and so we don't know what's going to be on the other side. All we know is that when we are in it at that moment, it doesn't feel good. It sucks. It's disheartening. It's discouraging. I kid you not, once you come out on the other side of it, it's like you look back and you're like, oh, okay, so all of that was for a reason. It's like you built me up to get me here to this next step. One of the things that I can say for me is that I never thought that I would have this many YouTube opportunities. I think last year I did, what, 2 or 3 sponsored YouTube videos, whereas this year either 11 or 12 sponsored videos, and a few of them being long-term partnerships. I sometimes have to pat myself on the back because I'm like, I did that. I put in the work and I didn't quit. I didn't quit at all. There's so many lessons that I've learned this year, and I've had so many aha moments that have reassured me that the path that I am on is in fact the right path. It may not look like everybody else's path, and of course you're gonna hit some bumps along the way, but don't be discouraged, don't give up, keep on going, and you truly never know what God has in store for you on the other side. All right, my loves, my camera was overheating, so I went ahead and just finished off my eyes off camera. All I did was I went in and added the e.l.f. liquid eyeliner. I love this eyeliner. This is another one that you can get from a drugstore. You can get it from Amazon. It's just a really good eyeliner. It has a really good felt tip to it, and it's inexpensive. And then the lashes that I'm wearing are the Ardell Naked Lashes, and these are going to be in the style 424. I have on the last ones from my previous pack, but this is another pack right here. I keep these on hand. These are my favorite lashes, and if you ever followed a tutorial of mine, I will always cut the ends of the lashes to fit my eyes just because I don't want them to be too bulky or anything. They're so pretty and like wispy and natural looking. They don't make your eye look super heavy or weighed down, and they don't overtake your eye. I love these lashes. So now that I'm done with that, it's time to move on to the face. And I've actually discovered a new primer. You guys know I was such a huge fan of the Hourglass primer, the Mineral Veil primer, and I've been using that for forever. That's such a good primer, but it is so pricey. And I've heard so many people talk about the e.l.f. Power Grip primer, so I decided to go ahead and pick this up, and I love this. This is actually a really good primer to use. It has a little bit of a tacky feel to it, and it just holds your makeup in place. It pairs well with the other foundations and concealers and powders and everything else that I use. So I love this, and this is such an inexpensive primer. 10 out of 10 would recommend this primer. Yeah, I think I just kind of left off by saying that is how my year has been so far. It's actually been a really great year. Everything that I went through in 2023 prepared me for the 2024 that I've had, and I've had a really good year. Of course, there have been some, you know, some tribulations and whatnot, but nothing that I couldn't handle, and I'm just really excited to see what 2025 has in store. I got a feeling that it's going to be a good year. I mean, despite this new incoming crazy ass administration that's coming in, I do feel like if you are somebody who's able to stay focused and stay on track, you are going to have a very good year. So the next thing that I'm going in with is the Born This Way concealer. This is going to be in the color Chai, and I just like to use this over some of my dark spots. But speaking of new administration, one of the things that I would say I'm most proud of this year is being somebody who wasn't afraid to be vocal about where I stood when it comes to like politics. I don't know how many of you followed me back in 2020, but I've always been somebody who wasn't afraid to speak their mind when it comes to politics, activism, our system, you know, just all the things. I've just never been somebody that's been afraid to do that. I think when people say things like, I don't get into politics, are lying to themselves, because to be quite honest, everything is political. All the way down to the way somebody would wear their hair is political. The food you eat, the neighborhood you live in, the car you drive, the education you get, the medicine you take, like everything around us is political. It always confused me when I would see like other influencers say things like, I don't talk about politics. And I get it, you don't want to talk about it 24/7, but also how can you be on a platform and stay silent about politics during a political year? I don't know. I can't tell people what to do. Like, I am somebody that, you know, they're all Americans. You have free range, you have free speech, you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. So I would never be that person that tries to tell people what they need to do with their platforms. I just feel like there's such an easy way to talk about issues that are going on while also still remaining authentic to yourself. I get maybe not everybody has that balance or has found that balance. I have a great community of smart, multifaceted, intellectual followers that follow me. That is definitely one of the things that I'm so proud of. I didn't care about like my follower count or anything like that. I just cared about being able to freely speak my mind and just talk about the issues on both the federal and a state level. I am in the state of North Carolina, and I will say that this election was very odd for our state because our entire state down ballot is blue. Our governor, attorney general, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, state superintendent, Supreme Court justice, like everybody down ballot is blue, yet somehow at the top of the ticket, you know who still won our state, which I have theories about that, and I don't really know if I want to get into it right here on YouTube, but the math ain't mathin'. Anyways, the foundations that I'm using, because you guys know I'm good for mixing foundations, I'm going to use these two foundations right here. I recently got back into the Double Wear foundation. This color is actually a little bit too light for me, but it mixes really well with my NARS foundation, and this is going to be in the color New Caledonia, and then the Estee Lauder foundation is in the color Maple. I think I might need to go down a color, but you know what, I'm like the worst person at returning things. But I like to take just a little bit of that on the back of my hand, and I actually, now that I look at it, I need to actually hurry up because I've got like 45 minutes, so I need to actually speed this up. And I feel like at one point, didn't this foundation used to come with a pump? Because I used to wear this foundation a long time ago, and I could have swore there was an option to do the pump, but I did buy that from Ulta. And so, no, maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but I just mix it on the back of my hand and then I just go in with it. And I'm using a Morphe M6 brush, and I just like to kind of like pat that in. And I'm gonna take this all the way down to my neck, by the way. The formula of these two, I think this foundation is so beautiful, and I love the formula of these two. I just go in and I just pat it out with my beauty blender, which this is not a beauty blender. I forget who this sponge is from. I know I've mentioned it before. I can't remember if this sponge is from Elf or if it's from Lottie Cosmetics. I love this sponge. I actually love the sponge more than the beauty blender. I just kind of wanted to mention that I would encourage other creators to not be afraid of speaking up and speaking your mind and talking about things that really matter to you. There's so many creators who think that if you speak up, if you talk about things, that you're going to get dropped or that a brand is going to get dropped. But I'm going to tell you right now, post-election, that week right after the election, I think I landed like 7 or 8 collaborations within that 1 week. So I've gone back in with that Too Faced concealer, and I am just going to just highlight my under eye and other areas of my face. But then to set my foundation, I'm going to go in with the Hourglass Veil translucent powder, and this is going to be in the color medium. I love this powder. This is hands down one of my favorite translucent powders to use, but I hate the packaging. I hate this packaging so much. Like Hourglass, I swear to God, count your days. Why is it like this? There's so much product that's in here, but you're trying to get it out through this little sifter hole that's at the top, and it's just, and I know why Hourglass does it, because when it gets harder to get out through the hole, you have to then go buy another one. What I was saying was that I think that people forget sometimes that the brands who are watching you are actual people. Brand managers, the influencer managers, the marketing managers, the social media managers for these brands are actual human beings, are actual people. They're looking at your content and they're saying, oh my gosh, this is a real person. She has real thoughts, she has real feelings, this is how she really feels about society, and we love that. What I like to say is never be afraid to speak up and speak your mind about what's important to you. Even when I was working at my corporate job, I also wasn't afraid to speak my mind and speak up. I've just never been somebody who was afraid of confrontation. Like, I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I'm not afraid to actually voice my concern. I am the type of person that if I see something, I will say something. I am not one of those bystanders that just sits around and just looks the other way when something horrendous is happening to somebody. I've never been that type of person, and I just genuinely will never be that kind of person. I don't know, I find that to be weird. So being that kind of person, I'm actually gonna go in and pat my face with the Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. I love this powder. And then next I'm gonna contour my face with this Too Faced Sculpt and Bronze stick. I don't know what color this is in, but I will find it and link it down below. And then I'm gonna bronze my face with the Too Faced Soleil Dark Chocolate Bronzer. I have really gone through this bronzer. This is such a pretty bronzer. It's coming up a lot lighter on camera than what it is. I am gonna do that because my camera is overheating yet again. I'm gonna do all that and I will be right back. All right, my loves, I am back. Sorry if the lighting has changed. It's just got so dark in here. I went ahead and just did my contour, did my bronzer. I do have some of that Hourglass powder right here in this area that I'll go ahead and wipe off at the end. With that being said, we are almost done. I'm gonna go in with the Amicole Cream Multi-Stick, and this is gonna be in the color Desert Nude. You can use this stick on your lips, you can use it on your eyes, you can use it on your cheeks. I love using this on my cheeks before I go in with my powder blushes, just because it is so good. And I think I have a discount code with Amicole, so I'll put that down in the bottom bar below. Like I was saying, don't be afraid to, you know, speak your mind going into 2025. Don't be afraid to voice your opinion or, you know, say what you feel. I feel like, especially for women this year, or actually over the past 4 years, there has been like this movement for women to turn to these traditional roles where they don't ask questions, they don't voice their opinion, they don't voice their concerns, and they just follow the lead. That kind of rhetoric is so dangerous, because so many of our, you know, ancestors, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, hell, even some of our mothers, it didn't come this far for us to then turn around and become these docile, weak-minded women who like don't have a voice. Like I can't understand not having a voice. I'm so grateful that I grew up in a two-parent home with a mom and a dad who always encouraged me to speak my mind and use my voice and set my boundaries and chase my dreams and so on and so on. I see what's happening in society today and I'm like, this is wild. How do we take this many steps back, and how did we get here? I say all that to say, don't be afraid to speak your mind in 2025. Don't let anybody silence you, and say what you gotta say. The blush that I'm going in with is going to be from this Too Faced palette right here. This is their limited edition blush and highlighter collection. I can't remember the name of this palette, but of course, again, I'll link it down below. I'm going in with this really pretty rosy pink color right here called Golden Hour. I just think that this color is really pretty. It's a very simple palette, but I just love how pretty this blush is. Too Faced does a really great job with their blushes, in my opinion. Like, I am such a big fan of Too Faced blushes. Like, look at that. That blush is so freaking pretty. It's so like rosy, and it's just, I don't know, I love that blush and I love blush. Now we're just gonna go ahead and finish off the eyes. I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel and just kind of like set my brows. Now I will say, one of the things that I don't want to hear in 2025 is toxic dating rhetoric. Like, I am so sick of hearing a 50-50 conversation, red pill conversations. I know what I mean. Like, the toxic dating podcast. It's tiring, it's silly, it's stupid, and to be quite honest, it's nothing but rage bait. People who are the loudest on these podcasts are always single people. The men who sit up there and talk about how they want a woman to be submissive and yada yada yada, they never go for those type of women. They never go for the pick-me submissive type of women. And so you just can't really take that kind of rhetoric seriously. If you did, those types of people would be a match made in heaven. And it's like, those guys are never picking those girls. It's because at the end of the day, those kind of guys, they don't want those kind of girls. They want women who express themselves freely, who set boundaries. They want those kind of women so that they could take them and put them in a cage and lock them up. But they can't have those type of women. So what do? They turn around and they go on podcasts and they bitch and complain about women. And it's just, it's a whole cycle. Like, please leave the podcast, red pill, pop the balloon, pick me, trad white. Like, please, for the love of God, leave that kind of rhetoric and just those kind of conversations in 2024. If you and your partner want to do 50-50, do 50-50. If you have a man that's a provider, great, he's a provider. If you are a woman who wants to be a provider, that's on you. Here's my thing, and I know I'm going off on a tangent. I sometimes want to ask people, how are their choices over there and what it is that they're doing in their household, how is that affecting you and your annual salary and your taxes and your healthcare benefits? That's how I feel about everybody. When I hear people complain about other demographics and they're voting, take the rights away from other people and other demographics, I just want to ask them, how does this person over here that you don't know, that you've never met, that you've never talked to, you've never had a conversation with, how are they affecting your rent payments? How are they affecting your mortgage payment? This might sound a little controversial, and I really don't care. When it comes to, like, for instance, like women who get abortions, you will never ever find me being up in arms and being that invested in what another woman is doing with her body. I don't care how you feel about the topic. I will never be that invested in what somebody else is doing with their body. I don't know their medical history. I don't know their background. I don't know what traumas they have. I don't know their healthcare history. I don't know the conversations they've had with their healthcare provider. I don't know the conversations they've had with their partner. So for me to sit up there and be mad because somebody else made a choice with their body and their womb is crazy to me. Like, that is literally crazy. That person, that individual, has nothing to do with my rent payment here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It ain't got shit to do with how many brand deals I land here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I look at every single group like that. Before you get on the internet and start judging other people, fix your lips to say something that is so ignorant. Ask yourself, how is that person's decisions over there affecting me putting gas in my car or my monthly utility bill? Exactly. As long as you are a consenting person and you aren't hurting anybody else and you aren't harming anybody else, just let people live. I can't imagine being the type of person that spends all of my time being hyper focused on another group and what it is that they're doing and what another person is doing with their body and what another person is doing in their bedroom and all of that stuff. As long as what it is that they're doing isn't illegal and it isn't harming anybody else, like, who cares? Like, I just feel so strongly about this because I'm like, y'all are obsessed. And like, I truly feel that the people who do that, who hyper focus on other groups, like, it's not giving hate, it's actually giving fan base. It's giving obsessed. It's giving, I wish I could be that person, but because I'm too afraid to live in my truth and I'm too afraid to live my life because I am so afraid of what other people are going to think about me, I'm going to hate from outside the club. I'm going to sit on the sidelines and hate on these groups right here because I can't be like them, and it's weird. All of that being said, I'm going to actually go in with the e.l.f. retractable eyeliner. This is one of my favorite little eyeliners to use. I'm going to go in and add that to my waterline, and then I'm going to add the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It's one of my favorite mascaras, and then we are almost done, so I will be right back. All right, my love, so now that I am done and I have said all of that, I want to go in and just kind of add a little bit of sparkle to my inner corner. I'm going in with this Too Faced palette right here. This is like another one from I think their holiday collection. This is, I don't know what it's called, but I'll link it down below. I have been using this like iridescent color right here. It's like this bluish purplish color. I have been using that on my inner corner. It just adds like the perfect like pop of just sparkle to your inner eye. I think that in 2025, I just think people need to leave others the hell alone. I think that in 2025, a lot of people are going to be matching energy. So gone are the days of the love and light crew. Gone are the days of the people who sit back and just silently take disrespect. I think this is going to be the year that people find out that like people that you thought that you could play with, you absolutely cannot play with. And I'm so here for it. I really, really am. So to finish off this look, I'm going to go in with my favorite lip combo, which is MAC's pencil liner, and it's going to be in the color Chestnut. Y'all know this is like my go-to liner. And then I'm going to top it off with this Pink Lily liner right here. I don't know what color this is, but I'll find it and link it down below. It's like the perfect pinky rosy nude. And then I'm going to top it off with this Kylie Cosmetics liquid lipstick. This is going to be in the color Ginger. And then I'm going to top off this entire look with my favorite nude lip gloss, and this is going to be from Too Faced, and this is going to be one of their like lip injection lip glosses. This is like a brownie pinky nude color, and I love it. And then lastly, I'm going to set my face with the Morphe setting spray. And that's the look, guys. So I'm gonna clean up, fix my hair, on a cute little top, and I will be right back. And my love, so this is it. This is going to be my final look right here. This is like my signature look that I tend to always do. Like, I'm always doing this kind of brownie neutral look with a little bit of pop of color in my inner corner and just like a nude lip. Like I stated earlier, I'll make sure to link everything down in the bottom bar below. I know that this video might be a little bit controversial, but like I said, I kind of don't care. 2025 is just going to be the year that I continue to remain unapologetically myself. I feel like I want to share more of that with you guys over on this platform and more of that way over on like Instagram and Threads. I want to make 2025 the year that I come on here and start talking about certain topics that don't necessarily have anything to do with like beauty or fashion. Like, I am somebody who enjoys talking. I'm somebody who enjoys dissecting certain topics and just kind of breaking them down. So I want to do more of that in 2025. This might be the year that I start pushing out 2 videos a week. Sunday videos will probably be like my normal content, but then I think maybe Wednesday or Thursdays I might push out another video where I just sit and talk and give my opinion on things. So let me know how you guys feel about that. Feel free to send over any topics that you guys want me to talk about. I just enjoy giving my perspective on things, and just chatting with you guys. With that being said, I do want to say I hope you all have a wonderful and fabulous and amazing 2025. I hope that whatever you went through this year is really the foundation and the stepping stool for 2025. I hope that you guys continue to push forward and move forward no matter what happens. Make sure you set up your boundaries. Make sure you speak your mind. Make sure you make your voice heard. Always remember, you are someone who is valuable. You are someone who is loved. You are a person. You are a human. You are put on this planet for a reason. Don't take that for granted. Go after what it is that you want to go after. Don't let the fear of other people's critiques or opinions stop you from chasing your dreams. Like I've said this before in previous Get Ready With Me, we only have one. Like, this is it. All of us here today, this is it. We only have one life. None of us get to do a do-over. We don't get to die and then turn around and be like, hey, actually I was too afraid to accomplish that thing then, but I want to start over now. Like, none of us get that. Whether it's starting a new job, starting a new business, going into a relationship, leaving a job, whatever it is that you want to do, go for it. Don't let the fear of anybody else stop you. Also keep in mind that 99.999% of the time, other people are running their own race as well. You have to be a very obsessive or boring person to be that invested in what somebody else is doing. And to be quite honest, the majority of us are just, we're just all running our own race. We're all trying to get through our own days. We all have our own lives. We all have our own successes and struggles and everything else in between. Just go out there and live your life. And I truly hope you all have a phenomenal 2025. Thank you all again for being a part of this journey and a part of this community. I love you. I hope you all have a fabulous week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, my loves.